Hi everybody, Toby N5SIM and 725 World Radio out in Skipland. Coming at you with another tip, trick, video kind of thing. So, I've got a customer that has a bad board on his radio, and it's because of this connector right here. This connector takes a ribbon cable, which looks like this here. It goes in there and it goes down through that little hole you can see right there, and it goes down to the amplifier board, and that's what runs voltage up to this board to make it run. So that connector gets bad inside. I can't get an angle on the inside of it to show you exactly, but anyway, those get bad. If you try moving them, they're kind of one of those connectors. It's kind of a once and done connector. It seems like if you take that cable in and out too many times, the connector just doesn't seem to work real well anymore, and you get a intermittent connection. So on the table here, on our rework, you know, we've got always this nice little hot plate here. This T862 really works pretty good. You know, it's got the heat lamp and all that. But this plate gets up to supposedly 200 degrees, heats the board, and then you would use hot air on that to get that connector off. But the problem is that this board doesn't seem to get hot enough, this plate. It works good for like 90% of the stuff. But if you're trying to take off like some of these programmable power regulators, they're on there with ground plane in the back, and they're just heck to get off. So I've ordered a hot plate that gets much hotter than this. But I wanted to get this customer out today, so this is what we did. I'm going to come over here to bench number 2, and I'm going to try an experiment and see what happens. I've got my good old heat gun here, and you know, when these things are in the reflow machine at the factory, you know, when they're getting reflowed, this board gets hot enough to melt the solder, and you put the stuff on, and the temperature, the pick and place machine puts these little parts on, and when it cools, they're there. So I'm going to give this a try and see if it comes off. You know, this thing's loud, so I'm going to shorten up the video a little bit, but let's try it and see what happens. I'll be right back. Cool. Like not even a minute, and it just heats up and comes off. No damage to the connector. Where's the connector? Where's that? No damage to the connector. And let's take a look at the board and see if there's any damage on the board. Look at that. Just comes right off. There's a tip for you. Okay, so let's take a look at this connector here and see what we got. It's going to be a little booger, isn't it? Well, right there, I guess I can do it this way better. Right there you can see that's where the tweezers were holding on to the unit, to the connector, and you know, that's kind of it's going to happen, but it's a broken connector anyway. It doesn't really matter. So the pins there are good, the pins up front are good, the guide pins are good. It's just that inside here, I think the contacts, these are just little compression fit pieces, and they go bad, or they get, you know, I tried cleaning them. It's not that they're dirty, I think they just don't compress right after a few inserts. But anyway, it's out, so when you get it done, you just rerun the pins like you would. I would hold it down on the board. You know, you put your flux, you hold it down on the board, solder these 4 points on the outside so that you've got a good physical bond to the board, and then just run these pins like you do any other IC, and you'll just be fine. So don't forget to like and subscribe the channel. Tell your friends about Troy Radio, the Flex Legacy Repair Center, and I'll have some more tips for you later on. Be safe out there.